Hello, hello, hello again, YouTube family and team. I am making this video as number 2, part 2 of my last video on pocket options, trading binary options through pocketoption.com. So this is number 2. If you did not watch the first video, you definitely have to watch the first video before moving forward with this video, okay? So we're going to be trading binary options through pocketoption.com, and definitely watch the first video because this is just a continuation and this is going to be a little more of an advanced video. Okay, all right, so I'm going to start sharing my screen and let's go over pocket option. So we are talking about pocket option. If you watched the first video, you would already by now have set up your Bollinger Band indicators, your moving average indicators, and your RSI, which is down here at the bottom. All of these are here: Bollinger Band, moving average, and RSI. This chart is currently on USD versus JPY. If you wanted a different currency pair, again, you would click here and you would change to a different currency pair to trade. You can trade crypto on this website, you can trade commodities on this website, and you can trade stocks on this website, okay? That's where you find it there. This, you'll find what minute chart you're on. You can change it to an hourly chart too, but I'm gonna stick with 1 minute. Again, each candle represents 1 minute because I'm on a 1 minute chart, okay? Over here indicates that I'm gonna go in for a 1 minute trade. I can change that if I wanted to. I can change it to 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4, 5 minutes, and so on. So I'm going to put it back down to 1 minute because we're doing a video. Over here is the buy button and the sell button. So in this particular trade for USD JPY, right now the payout is at 73%. So that means if I traded this, whether I bought or whether I sold, I would be getting back 73%. Okay. Now, I'm going to add in some more indicators on this video, and we're going to talk more about support and resistance. Okay, so right now I'm going to add in another indicator. So the next tab over, next to the chart you're on, is indicators. So I'm going to add in the stochastic oscillator. I hope that's the way you pronounce it, stochastic oscillator. So I added it in, and it popped up at the bottom of my screen. Okay, so I'm going to change the settings. So we're going to go to this pencil again to change the settings. We're going to put it down to 5, the first one, K period. We put it down to 5, and then you keep 3 and 3. Perfect. The style, you want to change it. So you want the two colors right here to be different, because the K period and the D period represent the lines. So you want to know what color your K period is, and then make it a little bit bright and maybe a little thicker. So I'm going to make mine pink, and I'm going to move it up to like 3. So I'm going to make it 3 to make it thick. And then my D period, I'm going to make it white, and then I'll keep it thin at 1. Overbought is going to be red, and then I'm going to make it thicker. So you see how this top line changed to red down here? And then I'm going to make this bottom line down here, I'm going to make that blue. So that's oversold. When the market is oversold, we want it to come back up for a buy. So I'm going to make that blue and change the line to thick, like thicker, which is 3. All right, so I'm going to save it. Now you see the last one, it looks a lot different. So stochastic oscillator down here, now it looks a lot different, right? So just like I talked about with the RSI in the previous video, it's like a roller coaster. So when it gets too high, the market can't be overbought for too long. So eventually it has to turn back around for the sell. Okay, so it turns back around. So the market came back up this high and it turned back around for the sell. Let's see what happened again when it was too low. Let's see. right here. So the market came back up, it was too high, and it hit the red line here for the sell, and it sold. The market was too low, it hit the blue line, it came back up for the buy. So this is what the RSI and stochastic does. It goes up, the market is too many buyers, so the market is overbought, and eventually it has to come back down. And then the market comes back down and eventually it has to go back up, okay? So it's the same thing on both stochastic and the RSI. It's a roller coaster going up and down, okay? Next, I'm going to add in one more indicator. So like I said, this is a little more advanced video, and we're going to look at all the indicators to match up on this video. Now, as a trader, this is just one strategy. So if you like, maybe just 2 or 3 out of all these indicators, you don't have to use all of them. I'm just showing you the top indicators that I like to match up for this website in particular, okay? So I'm going to add in another stochastic oscillator. Okay, and now it popped up again here at the bottom, right? So we're going to change the settings around again. So I'm going to go to the pencil. And now I'm going to change this again to 5, but I'm going to change these numbers now. So I'm going to change the 3 to 1 and then the 3 to 1. Okay, and then we're going to go to style. So it's 5, 1, 1 now. And then we go to style. So now the K period and the B period can both be the same color. That's fine. So I'm going to make it pink and pink. Oops, wrong. Okay, that pink and pink. And then overbought, again, is going to be red. Make it thick, because remember that when the market is overbought, eventually it has to turn back around and sell. It can't be a buyer's market forever. And then oversold, we're going to make blue again and make it 3. So it's thick. So when the market is oversold, it can't be oversold in a seller's market forever. Eventually it has to come back up for the buy, and that's why I make the line blue for buy. And we're going to save. I want this line down here to be a little thicker, so I'm going to go back to settings so you guys could see it. So I'm going to make one of them really thick. So there, you see how it got thicker? Let me make it a different color. Okay, I just want you guys to really see this line. So now at the bottom, I have another stochastic oscillator, but this time it's 5, 1, 1. So this makes the setting, this makes it a little different, because you see how now it's just one line. So now it's just one line moving together. On the first example, we had 2 lines and they were crossing. So the difference between these two is that, yes, you want the market to be, over or under. So in this example of the 533, the market was overbought, and we wanted the lines to cross each other. Okay, so we wanted the lines to really cross each other and then turn back around. So when the lines cross each other and then turn, like right here, then you want to go in for the sell down. You see, it crossed each other and turned back around down. So let's look for an example for a buy with the lines crossing, okay? Okay, in this example, I'm going to make a little vertical line here so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, right here. So on this particular candle, which is a 1-minute candle, right? In this 1 minute right here, we wanted to get this buy, right? Because this was a good buy. Let me delete some stuff up here so it doesn't get too confusing. Okay, so this was a good buy right here, right? Because the market went up for the buy for a long time. If you got in for a 1-minute trade, you would have definitely been in profit here. So let's see what happened down at the bottom with our indicators. So we're going to talk about each one. The RSI, it was oversold and it turned back around up. It hit the blue line for the buy indication. So that's one indication down here, check. The stochastic oscillator, the 533, it was oversold and we wanted to wait for the buy. We waited, and then we got the clear cross of the pink and the white line. They crossed each other and my pink line came up. It hit the blue, right? It hit the blue, which is telling us to click the button for buy, and boom, you got in for the buy and rode the roller coaster all the way up, okay? And then lastly, the last one, which is 511 stochastic oscillator at the bottom, we have this line and it was oversold, right? And we wanted to wait for the buy. What did it do? It turned, it hit this blue line for indication for the buy. Okay, so in this instance, all the indicators down here are lining up with each other. And for me, that's great because the more indication for, the more the indicators are telling me the same thing, the better. If all the indicators are lining up saying the same thing, that's more confirmation that it's going to be a great trade. Okay, so let me look for another example of all the indicators lining up, possibly for a sell example. We're going to look for a sell example. That wasn't too overbought. Let's see. Look for a nice sell example. Okay, this is good. This is nice and clear. I was trying to look for a very clear one so you guys can understand. So this is a nice clear one for a sell, okay? So right here at this candle, you wanted to catch this turnaround for this 3 minute, it was selling for 3 minutes, right? So you wanted to catch this. So let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. So down here with our indicator, the RSI was telling us the market was overbought and it turned back around for the sell. It hit the red line and you click the red button for sell. The stochastic, the 533, was overbought and you were waiting for the sell. So then the lines crossed each other. You see the pink line cross the white right at this instance, and then you got a separation. You could have took this sell. Once that pink line crossed the white and then hit the red for the sell, boom, you click the button again for the sell. And then lastly, the stochastic 511, it was overbought and turned around and hit the red line again for the sell. So this was an example of all three matching up for a sell trade. And then you would have got in somewhere in this 1 minute candle, and then you would have been in profits because it sold for another 2-3 minutes. Okay. So these are all the indicators that I like to use when trading binary options, and I like all of them to line up. Okay, we have, let me delete this line. So we have the Bollinger Bands, which is 1, the moving average, which is 2, RSI 3, stochastic 4, and the other stochastic is 5. Now there's 5 indicators on this chart right now. You don't have to use all of them. But if 3 or 4 out of the 5 are telling you the same thing, and you have, your trend line, of course, you want to know what kind of trend you're in, as we talked about in the first video. Are you in an uptrend or are you in a downtrend? If that's lining up and you have support and resistance to back you up for the trade, perfect. Okay, so if one indicator is not telling you like the same thing, that's fine. If all the other indicators are telling you something, great. That's perfect. So right now, let me wait for this setup to happen so I can explain what's going on. So this is the market currently moving, right? The candles are outside of the Bollinger Band, which is telling us that it should come back in the Bollinger Band for a sell. We have the RSI turning around for the sell. We have the stochastic oscillator crossing. It hasn't crossed yet. I would like a cross and a clear separation. And then we have this line down here saying the market is, in fact, overbought. It's agreeing, and it needs to come and turn back around for a sell. The only thing saying the opposite is the moving average. So right now, all the candles are above my pink moving average. And that's telling me that the market is uptrending. It's in an uptrend. So when you're in an uptrend, you only want to look for buys. You don't want to go against the trend because the trend is your friend. So that's the only thing saying different. Now, let me see if I could find any support and resistance in the past. So where it is currently, there's a little bit of support and resistance, but it's not too much. I'm not crazy about the area it's in right now. I would like it more to hit this area right here, support and resistance, because there's a lot going on up here. So we have resistance here, we have resistance over here, and we have resistance here. So this is a better area for me to go in for the sell because there's a lot of resistance up here. So let's see, if the market goes all the way up here, it would be better for me to take the sell as long as the indicators are all saying the same thing. You see how I was saying that the stochastic, the lines didn't cross each other yet, and I wanted a clear cross. Like I wanted a clear cross and separation. It didn't give me that. So if I jumped in for the sell 1 minute ago when we were talking about it, I would have lost. But that's why you have to wait for your setup to happen. You want the cross of these stochastics, and you want these lines to cross down, okay? So right now the candles are moving up, right? And we wanted to hit up here because up here was a good area of support and resistance, right? So I would like it to hit up here, and then I want my indicators to tell me something. So if they're all coming down and I have a separation, then we can go in for a sell. I just want to wait 1 more minute on this pair, and then I'm going to talk about some other websites that you can look on for confirmation. 1 more minute for this video. Let's see what happens. I just want to see if all the indicators line up for a good example. And remember, the only thing going against us right now is the moving average. The candles are above the moving average, meaning it would be better to look for buys rather than sells because you are in an uptrend. So now it's hitting around my area of resistance. I would like the candle to close, and then I want the indicators to tell me something that's going to happen for a sell. I want the indicators to tell me to go in for a sell at this next candle. I have some separation. Let's see. I have some separation, and it hasn't hit the red line for the sell yet. So I'm still waiting. I'm being patient. And now it passed, like it's trying to pass my area of support and resistance. And RSI and stochastic still haven't turned around. This is why you have to wait for the setup. Okay, I'm not going to wait too much longer on this, this setup. I'll come back to it after I look at the website. So I wanted to show you guys this website. It's called Currency Strength Meter. So this website pretty much tells you the strength of each currency at the current time. So right now at this current time, it's telling me that AUD, JPY, and NZD are very weak. Okay, you see these bars? It's a one red bar, that means it's really weak. The more bars it has and is going up to like the color green, you see how it goes orange, yellow, green, and then right here is the last greenish green, you know, so this is telling me it's really strong. So AUD is weak, and then USD is pretty strong, and Canadian dollar right now is really strong. So I like to use this website for indication of which currency is stronger than the other. Because let's see the pair we were on just now. We have USD versus JPY, right? So let's see what the currency strength meter is saying for USD versus JPY. It's telling us that USD is strong, JPY is weak. So in this instance, we would only want to look for buys because USD is strong. You want to buy USD. You don't want to sell USD because USD is strong. So if we go back to the pocket option, what is it telling us? Remember, we were saying the moving average was telling us it was an uptrend, meaning USD is strong, right? Because USD is the first currency in the pair. You have to know which is the first currency in the pair to compare it to the second one. So we already know now that USD is strong. The candlesticks are above the moving average. So we only want to look for buys. And what happened? It's kind of like passing my area of support and resistance. And look, none of these turned around yet. So this is really strongly a buyer's market. You see all the indicators were just up here. So this was a strong buyer's market. It's trying to come back down now a little bit to turn around. You see the big red candle. So now it's turning around, but most likely it's going to continue going up because USD is stronger than the Japanese yen right now. But now our indicators are telling us that we could have got in for this sell. But honestly, based off of the currency strength meter, it would have been better to get a buy setup. That's even more confirmation, okay? So I like to use this website. I'm going to show you how to find it. So if you go to Google, and then you just Google currency strength meter, it's the first one to pop up, click it. And then it's the first website right here. The first website to pop up, livecharts.co. And then you press that one. And then it leaves you right here. Okay, so I really like to check this website before I go into a trade as well, to let me get more confirmation of which currency to buy or which currencies to sell based off of the strength. Okay, and then lastly, before you even look at the charts, so before you even look at pocket option, you always want to check forexfactory.com because it just goes over news. So you don't want to trade when news is happening because you can get caught up in that news and it can get really crazy. The market can go bonkers when news is going on. So you don't really want to get caught up in binary options trading when a lot of news is happening. So forexfactory.com basically tells us the folders. So you're going to look at the folders and what colors they are. Here's the time. So you have to match it up with your time that you're in, whether you're in Eastern, Pacific. You have to match it up with the current time that you're in. So right now it's telling me today is Thursday, August 13th. We have the time, and then this is the currency pair, and this is the impact it's going to have on the market. So it says euro is the currency pair. The impact is yellow. So yellow is low impact expected. So that's low impact news. You can still trade, when it's low impact news, because you have to think there's news happening all around the world all day long. So you can't just not trade when you see any kind of news. Low impact news is fine. You can still trade. Now, when it goes up to an orange folder, so here we have USD, an orange folder. That's medium impact news. Okay, so now we're getting a little bit more hectic news going on, right? Because orange folder is medium impact news. Now this is unemployment claims. So you have to know what kind of news is happening as well. So unemployment claims, it's pretty serious in the Forex world. So you probably wouldn't want to trade USD around this time with the orange folder when it says anything about unemployment. And if you do, you have to be a much more experienced trader and really know how that news is going to impact the market. So orange is medium, and then red is high impact news. So here later today, 7:30 p.m., Australian dollar has a red folder, meaning high impact news. So you definitely you want to stay away from this currency when you see a red folder for high impact news. You should just stay away, especially as a beginner trader, just stay away. There are some way more advanced, experienced traders that do know how to trade with high impact news, but as a beginner trader, just stay away of that currency when you see red folders, okay? So this is one website, Forex Factory, you definitely have to look at before even looking at the markets, okay? Let's go back over to pocket option. And again, the same pair, pocket option, and gave us a little bit of a sell, right? So we could have got in here. It was kind of playing around in my area, right, of resistance. It gave me a green, a red, a green, a red. So this was a strong area of resistance. We just had to wait for the turn on the RSI and all the indicators. And then we got that separation there too that I was talking about. The separation and the turn, turning down for the sell. So we definitely could have got in for this 1 minute sell. But again, we know that USD is stronger than JPY, so it's definitely more so going to keep buying than selling. Okay, so these are all the indicators and everything I like to look for. My favorite indicators, a lot of times I don't have them all up like this. I have them on the screen, but I just wanted to definitely let you guys know what each indicator means and why I like to use these 5 specifically, but you definitely don't need all of them on your indicators every time you trade. It's definitely good to know what kind of trend you're in, get some support and resistance, and then get like 2 or maybe 3 indicators to just help you out, get confirmation. And then lastly, you check your currency strength meter to see if it's definitely giving you the same kind of indication that that currency pair is either strong or weak. All right, guys, this was my second YouTube on pocket options. This was a little more advanced. I hope you got some value from it. If you are part of the team, please reach out to me if you still have questions. You all have my information, my personal information, so definitely reach out to me. If you're just seeing this video on YouTube, you know, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. If you do want more information, you can definitely, again, reach out to me on YouTube. I'll get an email and I will reach back out to you. Thank you everyone for staying on and watching. I hope I brought value. And till next time, bye.